This street course certainly lives up to its name. At almost 2 miles in length, it's a concrete labyrinth sitting on the shores of the Pacific. But what makes this place so special is not just the length or the setting, but the people. From the fans that watch in the stands to the parties in the penthouses above. They return year after year because of the excitement contained in the walls below. But it's also the legends that have passed over these city streets that make this event special too. Ask any of it. This is the one race you want to win next to the Indy 500. Believe me, I know what it means.
Unser Jr. has won the Grand Prix at Long Beach.
Today, Long Beach is set to run the next chapter of this marquee event. With cars going over 200 miles per hour, the wheel-to-wheel excitement of watching today's stars of IndyCar. Hard not to realize how special this place has truly become. Welcome to Long Beach.
Hey, T-Bell?
Yeah, man.
All right, so the only guy I found on scuffed reds to start the race was Dixon. Everybody else was sticker reds, okay?
Hunter Ray, I know, is
the
also
other
scuffed.
thing is that when you're looking at the Chevy going away from you, you'll see the end pods, the side pods, you know?
Yeah.
There'll be a little piece that's missing from the middle.
On the top of the wheel pod?
In the middle of the wheel pod.
Sort of
so
like
there's
a
basically
second
three
element?
tiers,
Yeah.
yeah. And the middle one is missing. So, and you'll see Will has it. A lot of them have the full downforce package. They're going for it.
But Will, you're saying, has it missing?
Will has it in there. But
okay.
like Montoya's is missing, other guys have it missing. So if you'll notice that. So there you go.
Montoya seems to have it in there. I think its power is missing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I caught
yeah,
you.
I might have looked at the wrong
good
one.
catch. No, his power is missing. Yep.
Yep. There you go. So that's the difference.
Yep.
All right. So he's fully trimmed out.
Yep.
That would make sense. Yeah, he would have less downforce, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me a while.
Welcome back to Long Beach. Cars warming up the tires, the engines, the fluids, getting ready for the start. And let's take a look at how they'll line up with the Mother's Polished starting grid. In the first row, Hélio Castroneves with his third Long Beach pole, and Scott Dixon, he actually started third last year on his way to the win. Two drivers that have never won in row 2, Simon Pagenaud, Tony Kanaan, Juan Pablo Montoya, Will Power, both have won. James Hinchcliffe and Takuma Sato back in row 4. Row 5, Joseph Newgarden and Carlos Munoz, he was third in 2014. Ryan Hunter-Reay, Luca Filippi in row 6. Row 7 sees rookie Connor Daly, Sebastian Bourdais, Charlie Kimball, and Alexander Rossi, another rookie, both from California in row 8. Graham Rahal, Mikhail Aloshin in 9. And 10, another rookie in Max Chilton and Jack Hawksworth. And back the field, Marco Andretti. Riding along with a few different drivers, Graham Rahal has the Pengrade motor oil onboard camera, and that number 15. James Hinchcliffe with the Lucas Oil on board. Will Power, he will carry a camera as well in the number 12. Tony Kanaan with the NTT data, number 10. Simon Pagenaud and the Verizon on board, and that number 22. And Ryan Hunter-Reay with the Verizon streaming. You can download IndyCar Mobile to access exclusive live in-car cameras, hear driver and pit crew chatter, and more, only on Verizon. Let's go to pit road. Kevin Lee.
Well, next to the Indianapolis 500, Marco Andretti says there's no other race he wants to win. Everybody wants this race, but his family. Michael on his stand won 2 times. Mario, grandpa, won 4 times, but he's got his work cut out for him. Starting last, but he did find something in practice today. If they get a break, they can race with the leaders. Robin Miller?
Kevin, last year Connor Daly was having breakfast on Saturday morning in qualifying day. Dale Coyne called him and said, come drive my car. He did such a good job. He's got a full-time ride with Coyne this year. He starts 13th, and he says, I'm going to go gravedigger on these guys today at the start. Katie?
James Hinchcliffe is the top Honda on today's grid, starting 7th, and Hinch told me his car just rolled off well, so they've been able to focus on little things to pick up the speed. And even though he just barely missed the Firestone Fast 6, Hinch is looking at the positives of that, like starting on the clean side of the track, having an extra set of sticker reds, and getting a few guys on the start. Marty?
Katie, Team Penske going for their 6th Long Beach Grand Prix win. And talking to Roger Penske this morning, he told me the one thing they're a little bit worried about, how narrow this pit road is. It's about 2.5 lanes wide, and that's it. So entrance into your pit stall and the exit from your pit stall going to be very critical today. And his driver, Hélio Castroneves, has that number 1 stall by virtue of qualifying on the pole at Phoenix a couple of weeks ago. We'll see if that pays dividends this afternoon. Rick?
Thank you, Barty. Captain Roger Penske.
I never liked being down where Roger's pitting, but they pit these cars now, you know, by where they finished. Being on that curve, not being able to see the other cars coming makes it really tough in the race.
And the field working their way through 10 and the hairpin before we see the green flag. Go 2 by 2 again up front. Hélio Castroneves, Scott Dixon, Dixon won here a year ago. It was one of the most coveted wins of his career, winning at Long Beach. Who will win today? Green flags in the air.
That was a nice start, nice lineup. Hopefully they can all get through turn one.
Tony Kanaan trying to make some moves early. Not able to get by Scott Dixon. Dixon tucks in behind Hélio Castroneves, and they make their way into 2. And by the beautiful fountain through 2 and 3, too wide as they work their way into 3. Jockeying for position going into turn 4.
Saw some loose body work there, so a little bit of contact midway to back of pack, but very well behaved field at the front.
And we've got problems with Marco Andretti already. Andretti back under power. What's going on, Kevin?
I heard stuck throttle on the radio. Nothing scarier than that, so we'll see if he can get this sorted out and stay on track.
Saw him fire it back up and get going once again. Because now they work their way into turn 9. We'll take you through laps as we go here.
Big piece of body work came off. That could lead to a yellow flag here in a little bit. We don't know who that came from as they work through the hairpin. And now we'll get to see if anybody went low downforce and tries to make a move as you get up to.
Theory, guys, is that the scuff tires might come in a little bit quicker, but at some point, Paul, because of the fact they used 2 sets of red tires in qualifying yesterday,
ALMS ran, or the endurance cars ran yesterday, so the track is slick right now, so I would have went with stickers myself.
Tony Kanaan still holding on to the 4th spot behind Scott Dixon, who jumped back to 3rd after Pagano was able to get by him as they went into turn number 1. And Townsend, you had mentioned earlier, that's a great passing area, and Pagano took advantage of it.
It was textbook, had a great toe off the car in front of him.
Ryan Hunter Ray also making the pass on Joseph Newgarden.
Another textbook pass, and you can see Hunter Ray, the numeric indicator was blinking green, so Hunter Ray had used the button to push to pass. He has 7 left. He's already used 3 at the start of this race. You get a total of 10. Pagano also used 2. Dixon's used 2.
It's 50 additional horsepower, and it goes for a duration of 20 seconds. Now, there's not a straightaway here that they could stay on for 20 seconds. It's about 16 on the front stretch, but you have that opportunity for all 20 of those seconds.
Yeah, you got to be careful, too, not to use them all. I mean, we're 3 laps into the race now, and Hunter Ray's used 3, so you got to save some for restarts and at the end of the race, because if you're out of bullets and now you're in a good position, then what do you do?
James Hinchcliffe chasing after Juan Pablo Montoya. Juan Pablo Montoya already a victor in 2016. The Firestone telemetry in the upper right-hand corner, you see him go into 6th gear. He'll get upwards of 172 miles an hour, and the pass for the lead. Hélio Castroneves holds on to it. Simon Pagano, an aggressive move trying to get by Hélio, doesn't make the pass.
Pagano, your championship points leader, but there's nothing conservative about.
Way to stay cool and be calm. We talked to the pre-race guys about how, as he predicted, very tough.
Very patriotic.
Hinchtown's holding tough.
What's up with Charlie? Pitting on.
This is the off.
This is just the off-sequence stuff, so they're
get the blacks off.
pitting off-sequence here, yeah. The red's on.
Triple red.
Yep, I think they can do that. I believe that was his scuff set of reds.
They were stickers.
They were stickers?
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Yep, you're right. There's the other scuff set here. Yep.
What's he have left then? He's got 2 scuffs left?
He's got a set of scuffs and he's got a set of stickers of reds left. So. I think if you can get to 25, you're in good shape. I guess.
That's going to be stretching it later then.
But last to pit, first to pit, yeah.
Hey, and fellas, and I don't think we need to make a big deal out of it right now.
And welcome back as we ride along with Tony Kanaan. You saw at home, Charlie Kimball was the first to get off sequence, come to pit road, went from the primary black tires to the alternate red tires. You have to use both compounds at some point in time during this race, so now Charlie Kimball has done that.
That pace, and you can kind of maintain that gap, can't you, Townsend, and save fuel at the same time when you're the leader.
Yeah, we've got 80 laps to run here, so you're going to have to go 27, 27, and 26, assuming no yellows, as we see.
Wing that he requested, he leaves with 4 fresh tires. We'll see how these guys cycle out, and if the cautions fall their way and they can make it on one more stop.
That's the big question, is will the cautions make their way, fall their way for them?
Just watching a replay.
A little bit too far away from the pit wall, so they had a little bit of trouble engaging the fuel, but look at the blend line. As Bourdais comes out, and that's how close it is when they come back out onto the track.
And that's what you do if you're Bourdais. He was absolutely by the letter of the law. He obeyed the yellow line at the end of pit lane, as we see a lotion on pit lane.
And the time on the digital display, 7.8 seconds. So the fans watching across from pit road can see how fast the stops are. They also, those digital displays will show their position on the track when they are out on the track. Also, they'll show when they had to push the pass.
See, guys, now Graham Rahal's made a position on Bourdais, which is going to help him. Watch, his pit stop was fast. The lotion comes out in front of Hawksworth. As he does, he's peeling off.
There goes Ryan Hunter-Reay. The furthest up that has pitted already is Charlie Kimball. He is 14th. As Ryan Hunter-Reay is working his way down the very long pit road here at Long Beach. And in for his stop.
Sunoco fuel and for Firestone primary Firehawks. He started on the scuffed alternate, so this is the middle stint from him. Hunter-Reay has picked up a couple of spots so far in his first stint. The car is much better today than it has been all weekend.
And we saw aggressive moves out of Ryan Hunter-Reay on the start and restarts at Phoenix. If we have another restart, we would expect the same out of Ryan Hunter-Reay.
A little tough to be as bold here at Long Beach. You can try to dive bomb a little bit there in turn 1, but we've seen that happen
there goes
the wrong way.
Rahal
very close there, blending out.
He was quite far behind Hunter-Reay before the cycle of pit stops at Bourdais, and now will go on attack.
On racing etiquette, we see power on pit lane.
And he makes his mark. He's going to still be in position to make this a 2-stopper. And this is a really quick stop for the 12 Verizon team. Power is back out.
Will Power, how aggressive will he be? Under 7 seconds on that stop. And here comes Marco Andretti to you, Kevin.
50 miles an hour. It's been a tough go so far for Marco Andretti. They were already starting last, and then they had the mechanical issue with the engine shutting off where the throttle stuck, so that made them in catch-up mode for quite a while. Started on alternates, and a slower stop this time for Marco is going to cost them even more track position as they go back to the primary Firestones.
They're going to take a lot of front wing out of Marco Andretti's car, which means he's loose on aero balance. You know, just going back to Chilton, I saw him do that the previous lap, Paul, but I don't know that that's actually against the rules because track limit on a street circuit is the concrete wall.
Well, I'm sure there's a rule not to go underneath the curbs, so I would.
How do you know?
Well,
he tried
that
something
on other
new.
tracks that we used to race at, like Edmonton and places like that, you couldn't go on the inside of the curbs. We have the Montoya car coming now. This will be a quick stop. These guys are the best in the business.
Montoya started 5th, Paul. He is still running 5th. They're going to put on scuffed primary tires here for Montoya, who said he had a little bit of an understeer. He asked for an air pressure adjustment. He got it. He leaves pit row. We'll see where he cycles out. The leaders should be pitting here in this next lap.
James Hinchcliffe on pit road as well. And now as we're on lap 27, we've heard everyone targeting that number. James Hinchcliffe had a little bit of an issue. A little bit of an issue on pit road. And he had to wait for the 26 of Carlos Munoz.
That's really tough to do. You saw the mechanicals jumping up and down in anger. So that's extra second will cost you so much. Look at it, he's got Newgarden all over him now, so he's lost a ton of time on the track.
And Hélio Castroneves on pit road, Barney.
And this is going to be interesting because Tony Kanaan is set up right in front of Hélio Castroneves. You see him coming down pit road. Hélio, no complaints with the race car. He was really saving fuel that entire run. They're going to put on sticker blacks for Hélio Castroneves. Should not be any changes to the chassis on that front wing, and there are indeed not changes. We'll see where the leader cycles out and if Hélio is able to hang on to that lead. Right behind him, Tony Kanaan coming in. They also are going with blacks, but theirs are going to be scuff blacks for Tony Kanaan, who had a little bit of understeer. That was his only issue.
Scott Dixon hasn't come to pit road yet, but will have to, so he is now the race leader as Hélio Castroneves comes back out on track.
And this is the race right here. This is Pagano's going to come out right in front of Montoya, I believe, as Will Powers coming up on Kanaan.
Kanaan gets out on track, goes through 2 and 3. And Scott Dixon pushing the limits right now as far as fuel.
On the push to pass, though, so he will try. He's got to get it done here, but he's not.
And the 10 of Tony Kanaan, and here comes Scott Dixon to pit road. Dixon relinquishing the lead now. Charlie Kimball will take over the top spot.
Rick Scott Dixon once again showing why he's a master at saving fuel. You see him coming to pit road, and he said in the middle of that stint, I don't know if starting on scuff reds was the right call or not. He was hanging on, but able to make the fuel last and make good time. They put on sticker blacks. It's going to be interesting to see where he cycles out, and if staying out one more lap helped him out with track position.
Hélio Castroneves goes by, and Scott Dixon now coming out.
He might get second here.
Very close there. He gets just in front of Simon Pagano.
He's got to make that car very wide now, but this is going to allow Castroneves to really streak away and build a big lead.
Charlie Kimball on a different pit strategy. Remember, he came to pit road on lap 6.
Oh, Dixon had a clean exit there. Great job.
Simon Pagano, Will Power, Tony Kanaan.
Welcome back to the 42nd annual Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach, where Hélio Castroneves is leading. We want to wish Dan Gurney a happy birthday because 85 years old on Wednesday, and it was a wonderful collection of people that were there. Danny Sullivan drove up, Bobby Rahal, Dario Franchitti, and there you can see Dan with his son Alex, some of his old mechanics from his Eagle days. His son Justin prepared his 1967 Eagle and gave it to him, along with the car that Jimmy Clark drove. And there's Dan's car right there. One of the great things of all time is Dan Gurney, one of the great men, one of the great innovators, and he's the reason we're at Long Beach, folks, believe me.
Yeah, Robin, he never raced at Long Beach, but it's because of Dan Gurney that we are racing at Long Beach right now.
Well, he tore it up in the celebrity race here one year, but
Neves on that last lap, so he's going to want to close that gap down.
So remember at the start of the race, it was Castroneves and Dixon on the front row, but Pagano lead now with Hélio Castroneves in front of him.
He's pulled away from Pagano. Pagano's all over him on the outlap. He's pulled the gap as we see Hunter Ray and Charlie chasing after him. He's moving his way forward now with that alternate strategy. But Dixon now has got to put the hammer down and chase down Castroneves.
Charlie Kimball on Firestone Reds, Hunter Ray on blacks, and Hunter Ray has been struggling on that first stint, so it's going to take everything he has to hold off Kimball on fresh red tires.
And amazingly, here comes Charlie Kimball looking to the inside of Hunter Ray, but Charlie Kimball started the race 15th, went on a different pit strategy and is now running 15th again.
That push to pass, you can see it, PP.
It worked.
On the side of the car. He was by him, Townsend, by half straightaway.
Yeah, massive boost when you use the button there. Kimball currently has 3 left, so he's burned 7.
Even though Takuma Sato won here back in 2013, he says that really doesn't make a difference because racing is like a science, and science is continuously evolving. So the key today is to be able to keep up with the track temperature and keep evolving with the rest of the field. Marty?
Katie, Joseph Newgarden told me if we come up through the field at some point today, don't be surprised. They've made a little bit of progress up in the 8th position.
At such a prestigious track, look at the drivers that have won multiple times. Mario Andretti, 3 years. Sebastian Bourdais, 2005 through 2007. Our own Paul Tracy, 4-time winner at this track. And Al Unser Jr., 6 times he was able to make it to victory lane. Who will be there today? The last time Hélio Castroneves won at this track, he did it leading every lap.
So we see better fuel mileage and went further as we see Graham come in. Katie?
Graham Rahal's team said it's more important to maintain pace than save fuel right now. So as you see them getting through that pit stop, nice and clean. Rick?
Yeah, quick stop for Graham Rahal. But they need to make up some ground, and it's going to have to be on pit road if we're not going to get a caution.
Amazing job by Rahal's right front tire changer. The wheel nut fell out of the wheel gun. Cool, calm, collected, just picked it up, put it on. They didn't lose any time. Sometimes when that happens, it all goes a little haywire. And you were just saying, Paul, you're right, Dixon went a lap further on the first stint. If he can do the same thing on the second stint, he'll have 2 laps of extra fuel in the bag and the benefit of sticker reds while everybody else will be on scuffed reds. Dixon will be a rocket ship at the end of this race.
As we look from the helicopter here, the beautiful Long Beach racetrack, Shoreline Drive, massive crowd. Everybody loves coming.
Number 1. And by, as you mentioned, beautiful and iconic. How about the fountain in 2 and 3? The Dolphins right in the center.
All I can think about is where's my 12-year-old son?
Who's here somewhere. And here comes Mikhail Aloshin. Kevin?
The Russian has worked his way up to 14th position. He's going to need a lot of help to get home the rest of the way. 30 laps is highly unlikely unless you get some caution. Clean stop, Sunoco fuel for Mikhail Aloshin. Marco Andretti should be coming down too in just a moment at 50 miles an hour. Same scenario for Marco, and they knew this was going to be the case. Michael told him to go ahead and turn up the wick and don't worry about saving fuel early. We need to catch up after the early issues, but they're going to need a caution stint or two to be able to make it home the rest of the way.
Townsend, he's going to need to turn up more than the wick. They've been really struggling around in the back, and just the whole Andretti team has really not had good cars so far this weekend. And Hunter Ray now down in 20th, and I mean, this guy's a guy, he's a regular front runner here, as you see. The leader now on lap traffic, and that could have held him up, Townsend.
This is going to cause issues. You've got Castroneves and Dixon on pace.
Townsend, Joseph Newgarden in on the left side of your screen. You see the wing adjustment for Joseph, who's had a little bit of an issue with the handling of the car. Now they have to put the car back up to get the left-right rear tire back on for him, and that's going to cost him some time.
We'll try to hang on and not let Dixon advance as they make it to the final stop. Dixon's in early.
Dixon decides to come to pit road early. That's shocking after staying out on the track longer.
I'm going to tell you why he's doing that. He's got traffic in front of him. He's going to come out, and if he's in clean air and rips off a fast out lap, that's really going to put him ahead of Castroneves, because Castroneves is being held up. Marty?
And that's a theory. Once they got into that traffic, Mike Hull said, let's come to pit road now. Sticker red tires. As we predicted for Scott Dixon, you saw no adjustments on that 9 car as well. Now we're going to see where he cycles out. Mike Hull said, we'll get you a number to get you where you have to be to make it to the end of the race. This is going to be interesting, guys.
Well, Scott Dixon has proved, as we see Connor Daly leaving, Scott Dixon has proved he can go 28 laps here. Here he comes.
The lap times had dropped behind Hawksworth to a 10.6, and they were running 9.5. So they were running a second a lap slower. Now we see Dixon out with a clear road, so he's got to rip off a quick lap here.
And we're going to have to pay attention to when.
How long until there's...
I bet it's just bringing everybody back to us here.
Coming up.
And now here comes Elio onto pit road.
This is going to be it, boys.
And you saw Scott Dixon was on the push to pass, making every opportunity to gain time on these pit stops.
Marty.
You guys, Hélio Castroneves was dragging his feet a little bit, as Mike Hull said, because they were worried about that fuel number, and they thought Dixon might try and stretch the fuel. It's going to be the scuffed red tires for Hélio Castroneves. 7-3 on the stop. Nice quick stop. Now we'll see where it all cycles out.
Remember, Hélio was just in front of Scott Dixon. Will he be able to stay in front after this stop? There went the 9 of Scott Dixon. Seconds left in the push to pass for Hélio Castroneves.
But let's not
into 6.
Let's not forget there's several cars that still need to pit that are all in contention. We've got Pagenaud, Kanaan, and Montoya all about to pit for the second time. If they really crank off a great in and out lap, they could be contenders.
Pagenaud's last lap was an 8.6, so that's one of the fastest laps of the race so far. So if the track is clear for Pagenaud, he could cycle to the front, as we see Kanaan in the pits.
TK coming in, and they said the only problem was the fact that he was getting a little wheel spin off of the hairpin, but he said other than that, the car was actually pretty good. They're going to make no changes to the car, waiting on the fuel, taking a little bit longer than anticipated. Tony Kanaan leaving with scuffed red tires.
That's not going to get it done, a 10-second pit stop. Now, the benefit for these guys, they have more fuel than Dixon. And not close there as things cycle back out.
Dixon and Hélio Castroneves go by. Here comes Tony Kanaan coming out. Here's
Montoya.
Also, will he get in front? No. Yes, he does. Just in front of Juan Pablo Montoya.
Montoya 6. Montoya at a 109.6. So Pagenaud is ripping off fast laps right now.
Kevin, here comes Simon Pagenaud.
His teammate Will Power, we saw a moment ago, pitted a few laps ago, a slower stop, 10 seconds. This could be a race-winning pit stop along with the in and out lap for Simon Pagenaud. He's been really turning it up here the last couple of laps. We'll see what the 22 team can do and see where he comes back out, Marty.
His teammate Juan Pablo Montoya comes to pit road. It's going to be scuffed red tires for Montoya, and 8-8 on the stop. Montoya stumbled a little bit leaving pit road, they told him, go hard. You have those scuffed tires on. Don't worry about them being cold. They'll come in right away.
Race leader, Scott Dixon.
This is close.
Well, for the lead. Actually,
He's in
it's
the lead.
Oh.
He's ahead. This is going to be tied here.
But did Pagenaud cut that yellow line? That looked close on the merge.
Dixon has got to get by before the next corner.
We'll take another peek at that as far as the blend line coming out, but look at Simon Pagenaud trying to stay in front of Scott Dixon.
He's got to get it done by the next corner or it's lights out.
Charlie Kimball still scored as the race leader, but he has to come to pit road. Let's take a look as he comes out onto the track. The right side tires are supposed to go on the outside of those double yellow line. It looked like he might have cleared it.
That was close.
Pretty
we
tough
watched
call.
the battle.
Not a call I'd want to make, but the rules are the rules, so we'll have to see what race control does about that.
Let's see who's on the push to pass as they come down shoreline. This is a great opportunity for Dixon.
How about Dixon making the move to the inside?
Pagenaud blocks. He's making him go the long way. That's the hard way around.
Ooh, and he crabbed back out to the outside and forced Dixon off to the side.
Dixon's got the knife between his teeth now. He knows if he goes in 3 or 4 more laps, he's not going to have an opportunity.
And the other thing, Paul, is that Dixon has to be careful about burning fuel. Remember, he ducked into the pits early. He has to go 28 laps. If he races too hard, he might not.
That exit of pit road, they're going to look at it and see if he did commit a violation by coming across the points lead right now. Would he run conservative or go after it? This move right here looks like it's aggressive.
Well, let's see what happens. We'll see if we can pause the screen as Pagenaud's turning in. Let's
Clearly
pause
over.
right there. I mean, that is, not only is he on it, he is early on it, and all 4 tires are going to go over the yellow line. So according to the rule, that's going to have to be addressed. Another view here from the helicopter. Right there. And the other angle was a little bit better, but
imagine if that is what's going to determine Simon Pagenaud not being able to win this race.
That's the rules. I mean, everybody knows what the rules are. Back in the day, like I raced at times here, there was little pylon cones all the way down there. So if you ran over them, you'd get some damage to your front wing. So
and
it's kind of a self-policing thing.
Marty.
You guys, how savvy are these drivers? Scott Dixon coming down.
So again, the move by Dixon on pit road got him in front of Hélio Castroneves. Simon Pagenaud questionably out in front now. Pagenaud under review. And the IndyCar officials have been looking at the exit of pit road by Simon Pagenaud to see if there was a violation. And so we're still waiting on that as far as when the stewards give us that information.
And if you're Simon Pagenaud's team, you're not even going to mention that this is under review. There's no point in alerting Pagenaud. Just let him do his thing, and the chips are going to fall where they may.
Pagenaud has about a second lead over Scott Dixon. Dixon chasing after Simon Pagenaud, but will he be able to hold that position? We're going to let you know when we come back. And at 10:30, the Predators take on the Ducks. Yeah, the Ducks, local team right here in the California area. The 2016 Stanley Cup playoffs. Don't miss a moment. From the gorgeous Long Beach, California, Grand Prix of Long Beach. 4 different drivers have been out front. And right now, there's a question mark if Simon Pagenaud should be out front.
Well, and that's, you know, under review right now. It's taking IndyCar a long time to make this decision on what they're going to do in Townsend.
Not only on the yellow line, but there was still some yellow line left. I mean, he was all 4 clearly over.
And guys, listen to this. They're going to give him a warning.
Oh.
So the 22 of Simon Pagenaud has been given a warning.
Well,
so he is going to be able to hold on to that spot.
Well, next year
now Dixon is going to have to work his tail off to try to get by him.
Next year he'll have to be a whole lot more careful because there's no more pit stops for Simon Pagenaud.
That's one of the biggest complaints that so that could have been the race-winning move, a move that could have been a violation.
Shorter distance, and we can go back and remember how close that moment was. It was maybe a tenth of a second where Dixon was almost by him going into the fountain.
And Pagenaud now out front. We're going to take one more look at it. This is Simon Pagenaud in the 22 coming out of pit road. Dixon.
Pagenaud trying to shake, drove over the line. There's no question that was not within the rules. And look at what that did in terms of side-by-side racing.
Here we go, though. Look at this.
Look at this. Here comes the dive. Scott Dixon trying to get aggressive.
He knows now there's no penalty, so he's got to go. I think he sat back and waited to see if there was going to be a penalty or not. Save fuel. I'm sure that Mike Hall has told him no penalty, go. So it's time for Scott to go.
But I wonder how much fuel Scott Dixon's going to need to use to get by Pagenaud. He only has...
Mike Hall has indeed told Scott Dixon penalty only, or a warning only for him. He was not very happy with that, as you can imagine. They discussed the replay and that it was very clear. Mike Hall on your screen right there has told Scott Dixon, and they said they're going to work on the fuel number for him, but Dixon not wasting any time. They remind him once again, remember, Pagenaud's on older red tires, the scuffed red tires. That's what they went with.
And I'll tell you what, the fans and the internet chat room is going to get interesting. Dixon pulls the tear off. He's only got 1 push to pass, and there's a lot of laps left to go. So
his first ever Long Beach win. Can he hold on? Drop the green flag, and now it's Simon Pagenaud trying to stay in front of Scott Dixon. James Hinchcliffe, 8th. Graham Rahal, Sebastian Bourdais rounding out the top 10.
And I know it's been caution-free, but with 14 laps to go, we've got a big disparity in push-to-pass account balances. We got Sato with 7 left. Tony Kanaan has 0. We show Montoya as 0. Dixon only 1 left. So as we get down to the finish, Paul, some guys are going to start using up the available push to pass and go for it.
Yeah, we don't know how accurate it is completely because Sato with 7, he's really in a good position. He's gotten by power. He's having a solid day for Honda. He's closed the gap to those 3 Chevys in front of him. So as we are on board with Rahal, he's also having a good day. He's our biggest mover of the race.
The Firestone,
biggest mover. So another good day for Rahal, good points day. But it's going to be some unhappy people in the pit lane if this race ends up the way it is. I'm sure Dixon is really upset about this. He's just got to make it happen now.
Well, you can be a part of Honda's fastest seat in sports sweepstakes. Just go to racewithhonda.com to sign up if you want to ride with the number 15 here. And it would be an interesting ride. Be a great ride.
Look at Sato using up the button.
Sato by Tony Kanaan.
Look at him come back. That Chevy was coming back on that Honda, even on the push to pass.
Well, Tony used
his last one.
We think he's out of it, but it looked like he was going to have a shot up the inside. Sato wisely took the option away from Kanaan. Now Sato looks like he might be pulling away. He's going to go track down Montoya up there.
With the amount 13 laps to go, it's a possibility he could land on the podium.
Well, he's won this race before, and seems like the last few years AJ Foyt Racing's had a great car here at Long Beach, lots of speed.
Can he gain 8 seconds? That's the gap between Simon Pagenaud and Takuma Sato, but the gap between Takuma Sato and Hélio Castroneves a lot closer, about 3 seconds. Let's ride along with James Hinchcliffe. Hinch running 8, has Will Power just in front of him.
We really haven't. This is a good confidence builder for Hinchcliffe because he's coming back from a huge injury, not a lot of seat time. So Townsend, this is just a confidence building day for him.
Well, and it's just great to see him at full strength and at full song here on Shoreline as he starts to suck up behind Power. Let's see if Hinchcliffe thinks about popping out and surprising him. Going to show his nose here and wisely back off, but he filled up Will Power's mirrors with that gold Aero car.
Will Power's not having a great day.
Look at this. What a run he has now.
I agree, Paul. We haven't really talked about Will at all.
He had in practice and qualifying leading into the final 6, he had everybody covered.
This might be one of the reasons is the downforce selection for Will Power. And Marty, I understand you're with somebody at Chip Ganassi Racing.
Well, let's talk to Mike Hall and get his interpretation of the non-call on Simon.
Stewart system they were going to have this year, there would be no warnings. So he was either in the right or the wrong. I think on the television it clearly probably showed everybody, all the viewers, that he didn't stay in a straight line all the way. The penalty was, but it shouldn't be leading the
call on Simon Pagenaud.
And with just under 11 laps to go, we want to take a quick break, so we're here for the finish of the 42nd running. The Grand Prix of Long Beach. Out front, it's still Simon Pagenaud.
He's close.
That's a great run off the hairpin.
He's on it, so he's going to make a move now. He's in.
Take another look.
Sato went right, and you watch Montoya moved after he moved. Look.
That's going to be tough to definitively say there was a move. At our last race, Kanaan did that on Drilled him.
Yeah. And guys, out of the jury back to the racetrack for Juan Montoya. He has 2 push to passes left. Got that from the team. They are getting that data. They have had data problems down here all day long for a lot of the teams, but they do know he has 2 push to passes left.
James Hinchcliffe
on Power. We understand that the incident.
Push the pass, remaining 3
Somebody's
each.
coming out of the pits. Is that Marco Andretti? Oh, that's nice. Get out of the way. Let the leaders race. Good job.
Hinchcliffe trying to get by Power. Can't find the opening, the opportunity.
25 laps. So
can he make it? That would be the other thing if he uses all the push to pass.
This will be a big day for Pagenaud. He came to Penske and has yet to been able to really put it all together. He's been fast on ovals. Last year, really kind of qualified well, but would fade in the races. And if he's able to pull this win.
Trying to hold on. Pagenaud's going to win at Long Beach. What a run by Scott Dixon. Those slower cars.
Here comes Sato.
Yeah, Sato. Potentially on the push to pass to get by the 2. No, but very close.
Now let's watch
Montoya.
Hinchcliffe on power. Same thing, close, but not close enough. That got pretty exciting at the end.
Wow. How about that? We didn't think it was going to happen because of the numbers of push to pass that Pagenaud had.
This is going to be some interesting interviews. Pagenaud is going to be oblivious because he doesn't really know from his team that he was a potential penalty, and Dixon is going to be livid.
How about that? The celebration. What's the feeling? I mean, Paul, you've done it 4 times.
It's fantastic. I mean, you can see. I mean, this is a long time coming for Pagenaud. He was winless last year. When you get the big opportunity to drive for Roger Penske and you have these huge sponsors, corporations, you're expected to win right away. So, great win. Closest finish in history at the Long Beach Grand Prix. Start to finish green.
Oh, Simon Pagenaud is going to be ecstatic. He's going to get out on this beautiful California day. The greens will be greener. The blues will be bluer. There's no better feeling in the world.
And he gets a plaque in victory lane.
This was close here. If I was Dixon, I would have just dove down the inside. What do you got to lose? I mean, other than not get to the finish line, but other than certainly very close. That lap traffic, I mean, one more lap, that could have been a big problem for Pagenaud.
Absolutely. What a win by Simon Pagenaud, his 5th career win, and it comes at Long Beach. The closest finish right there. Simon Pagenaud will be thanking his team as well. Again, it was a great pit stop. They got him out just in front of Scott Dixon. As he celebrates with the race fans. This is the fastest race in Long Beach history. It's the first to average a speed of over 100 miles per hour for the entire race.
The look on Dixon's face, he doesn't look very pleased at all. Montoya is leaving the scene quite quickly behind the truck over there.
And that's the 2nd straight year, by the way, that every car has been running at the finish of this race.
That's amazing.
No cautions, and all 21 cars running at the finish. And Pagenaud has made it. We see Juan Pablo Montoya down there congratulating him. Marty.
And Pagenaud is preparing to climb out of his Team Penske machine. His 5th victory in the Verizon IndyCar Series, but first for the historic Team Penske. 179th overall. Simon Pagenaud is a winner at the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach. And this one has been coming for Simon. He has been knocking on the door